Hey guys, this is probably the weirdest comic hunt that I've been on. So, I found an ad on Facebook Marketplace for a bunch of 50-cent comics, and they were listed at a market that was a little bit out of the way from where I normally go, but for 50-cent comics, I decided to take a ride out to the market, and when I got to this market, it was actually just this rundown gas station, but I was determined. I had made the trip. I'm actually looking for inventory for the next time I set up at a comic show, which is hopefully going to be at the end of the month, so I'm hoping to find some good books I can put out for $1 to $5. Let's see how we do. I'm gonna be real, I was a little sketched out walking into this place, but there you go, 50-cent comics, and look over here, there are about 1 billion copies of Batman 108, the first Miracle Molly. They even have the Art Germ variant. People thought that was gonna be a big book at one point. I've seen people charge like $10 for that book, and they probably had dozens of copies here for 50 cents. And that wasn't even all of it. You'll see more sprinkled throughout these boxes. I was seeing a lot from Image and Valiant, a lot of Image #1, so guys, keep that in mind with all the Image hype going on right now, because this might be where some of those books end up in like 20 years. You'll also see several copies of House of Slaughter #1. These are books that you would expect to find for 50 cents, but you know what? At least they're charging a fair price for them. That's the way I look at it. You know, even if most of it is a bunch of junk. Like I said, I'm not expecting to find anything of crazy value in here. I'm just looking for some stuff to fill up my dollar bin, maybe a couple $5 books, but I'm not holding my breath for anything crazy. But I did find something pretty good there. The first appearance of Simon Baz. That's a decent little book. And looky there, I found a little stack of tough stuff from local artist and writer Kevin Delgado. And I recall him mentioning this book is actually out of print, so I'm gonna grab a couple copies of this, and I'm thinking about maybe getting a remark on them. I gotta say, there were some interesting books, even if it's not stuff I necessarily wanted to pick up. There were a lot of books in here that I had just never seen before, and you guys have probably never seen before. So hopefully you guys get some enjoyment out of watching this. Then we have another big stack of Valiant right here. I think this box was mostly all Valiant, outside of a couple Superman books. And there you go, even more Batman 108s. Jenny Frizen for 50 cents.
Grab two. I feel like I've seen that cover a lot, and that's an artist that people tend to really like, so. This? Red Menace, #1. Commie sympathizer? Yes.
And guys, I gotta say, the way they had these boxes set up was really awkward, and trying to dig through these was really, really uncomfortable. I was basically on my hands and knees trying to dig through these boxes, and my knees were starting to hurt, and my back was starting to hurt, so I was kind of flipping through these boxes a little quickly, and, you know, there were a lot of duplicates of books, so I wasn't really missing out on that much, but by the end, I was starting to get really tired, so I think it's time to head home, and let's show you guys what I picked up.
This is really starting to hurt my back.
So as you guys could see from that footage, they had a lot of comics. A lot of them were just the same book over and over, but you know what? I'm looking for inventory, and I think I walked away with some pretty good stuff. There weren't any crazy finds in there, but some stuff I could definitely do for like $1 to $5. So first off, I grabbed a New 52 #1 free comic day edition, and what's cool about this is that this is actually the first appearance of Simon Baz, the Green Lantern, and there he is. I actually have a copy of this book already, and if it was in a little better shape, this might be a $5 one, but as you can see, there are a bunch of spine ticks, so this will probably be in the dollar bin. Really cool find there. And I grabbed 2 copies of Tough Stuff. This is by local artist and writer Kevin Delgado. I've met him a couple times at the Buffalo Comic Con. I do have a copy of this book, but I was actually thinking about maybe getting these remarked the next time I see Kevin at a show, and maybe I'll keep one and do a giveaway on the other, so it's really cool. Have to support the local Buffalo artists when I can. And you guys could see from the video, they had a million freaking copies of Batman 108, both cover A and the Art Germ variant. And this is the first appearance of Miracle Molly, who is a Batman villain that they didn't really do much with, but I grabbed 3 copies of this. I'm actually going to keep one for my personal collection, and then the other 2 will be at the Buffalo Comic Con with me. I only grabbed 3 of these, but oh my gosh, dude, I remember a few years ago, people were selling this for like $10, even more sometimes. A little crazy to just see so many of them sitting in a rundown gas station. Could not believe it. So there we go. So, next up, I got a copy of Pit #1. This is just something that I see in like $1, $5 bins all the time. They had 2 copies of it, so grabbed it for 50 cents. And then I just grabbed this Superman headshot cover. People tend to really like these ones, so there you go. Thought it was cool. I grabbed 2 copies of Something is Killing the Children, #16, the Jenny Frizen variant. People tend to really like the Frizen. This is one I've definitely seen before a few times, so Something is Killing the Children, Jenny Frizen Virgin variant. I have 2 of them. And then I grabbed Steel #1. I just like to have some cool #1s for the dollar bin. And this last one I picked up because I think I'm actually going to keep this. This one actually just seemed kind of cool. This is The Last Days of the Justice Society of America. I don't actually know anything about this story. Just looks like a cool one-shot. 68 pages, no ads. So if anyone knows this book, let me know more about it in the comments. And that's it for the haul. Unfortunately, this place had such bad phone reception that I couldn't look up any of the books, but I think I did a pretty good job at picking out some of the good ones. Let me know what you think, and as always, have a good day. Peace out.